Salamta, greetings, shalom, for the anniversary of the coronation of the King of Kings of Ethiopia, Qedamawi Haile Selassie. We're happy to share a reading from the Order of Coronation, or the Sirate Negus. It's the first English translation of the original Amharic and Ge'ez text of the liturgy and program for the coronation of His Imperial Majesty Qedamawi Haile Selassie, or Haile Selassie I, coronated 2nd November 1930. And of course we thank Ras Gebre, Selessie, Ras Feqade, Wendim Simeon, Brother Massimo Crescenti, Brother Antonio Carraro, and Ras Iyared Miherette Selessie for their work in making this translation available. And we begin with the Order of Coronation. The crowns of the King of Kings and of the Iteghe, Empress, and all other coronation ornaments and objects shall be placed in the church, or Beta Christian, found within the walls of the royal palace, the Beta Mingist Gebre. And after the monks, senior priests, and bishops who came from each province have prayed the proper prayers there for full 2 weeks, when 7 days remain until the coronation holiday, the Begeronde, or treasurer, shall go to the church of St. Giyorgis, St. George, and shall have all the ornaments for the coronation ceremony of the King of Kings and the Iteghe carried by the great officials, the guards of honor escorting him in, before and after, on the right and the left. The leader of the church, gathering the clergy together, shall receive him in the church compound, singing, "We glorify the Lord, እግዚአብሔር, the glorified, who deserves glory." The ornaments befitting the ceremony of the King of Kings coronation are the following. 1. Sword with the sheath adorned with precious gold and precious stones. 2. The royal scepter, or literally in Ge'ez, the rod of the kingdom. 3. The orb, or the lu'ul, which also means the pearl. 4. A ring set with diamonds. 5. 2 golden spears. 6. A royal garment, or literally in Ge'ez, the garment of the kingdom. 7. Crown. Then, number 8, a gold-bound Holy Bible, or the Meshaf Kadus. The ornaments assigned to the Iteghe are the following: a ring set with diamonds. 2. A royal garment. 3. Crown. On the same day, 7 royal perfumed unguents shall be blended and made into one holy oil within the horn of unction, that shall go to the church together with the coronation ornaments. The priests appointed for this duty, having received all the ornaments from the Begeronde for the coronation ceremony, shall put them in order on a sacramental table, aptly prepared within the Holy of Holies, or the Mekdes. 49 officiants chosen from among the priests and monks, being in groups of 7 at 7 points in the church, shall recite every single day 49 Psalms of David for all the 7 days preceding the solemnity. They will spend the week in sanctification while reciting in the morning and in the evening the Psalms of David, and the Wadasi Miriam, the Lauds of Mary, along with the Ankets Burhan, the Gate of Light, the Melkah Mariam, the Countenance of Mary, the Melkah Jesus, the Countenance of Jesus or Yeshua, and the Melkah Teklahimenot, the Countenance of Saint Teklahimenot, and while pronouncing the rogation, Igzi Ota Mithla. Coronation Day. It is required for the coronation feast to be on a Sunday, Ehud. On that day, starting from the 4th hour in the evening, or Saturday at 10 p.m., the members of the clergy, standing in the matlet, or the singer's court, shall chant the moedes and the audium. The King of Kings and the Iteghe shall leave the royal palace on the eve, the Sabbath evening, accompanied by princes and the governors, and go to the church, where they will spend the night offering thanks and praises to the Lord Iyared for bringing them to this moment and qualifying them for this dignity. On Sunday, at the 1st hour in the morning, the King of Kings, after performing his act of worship and having recited some prayers in a low voice, shall approach the prepared place for the coronation ceremony, and shall recite in a loud voice until the end the 121st Psalm of David. This is numbered 122 in the Hebrew canon and in most modern Western versions. Beginning, I rejoiced, for they say to me, let us go into the house of Yahweh, Iyared. Following this, he shall ascend the golden throne, the work member, destined to him. The archbishop, going from the Holy of Holies, shall approach the sacramental table, where all the ornaments for the coronation ceremony were placed in order, and turning his face toward the princes and the governors, shall pronounce the following words that are written. All of ye Ethiopian princes, ministers, governors, and military chiefs, soldiers and armies, and ye members of the clergy, scholars and archpriests, heads of monastery and priests of Ethiopia, ye all know that this is our King of Kings. His Majesty, Haile Selassie, is from the seed of King Selessie that came descending without interruption, starting from Menelik the first, born from Solomon and the Queen of Saba. Even now that through the will and goodness of the Lord Iyared, I am about to anoint him, so that he may rule wearing the crown of King of Kings. We recommend you submit to him and assist him in all his physical and spiritual work, in bringing progress in the land and establishing the faith, so that during his time Ethiopia may ascend in knowledge, teaching, and wisdom, and in his diligently causing the Ethiopian flag to be unfurled from border to border, and in all good works similar to these. The people shall say, may the Lord Iyared do for our King of Kings according to your word. Amen. After this, the archbishop, putting his hand on the Bible and turning himself toward the King of Kings, shall ask him the following question. The archbishop, O Majesty, King of Kings, are you willing to vow the proper vow when you reign according to the regulation of kings? King of Kings, yes, I am. The archbishop, are you willing to vow to live by and to reaffirm the Orthodox faith of Alexandria being established in Ethiopia since the holy kings Abriha and Asbiha, and to observe without breaking the law and order circumscribed by the Orthodox Christian Church? King of Kings, since it is that I live faithfully until now in the Orthodox faith of Alexandria, it is my will to vow to live observing it accordingly in the future by the help of the Lord Iyared. The archbishop, will you protect the people of the kingdom of the King of Kings, Ethiopia, in all that you do by your authority and your power with goodness and patience according to the law, while mindful of their benefit? King of Kings, since I know that these words are the guide of good works, it is my will to keep them to all my ability. The archbishop, Your Majesty, Are you willing to live keeping the laws that you willingly submitted to the council for advice, and to keep the realm and people of Ethiopia acting according to the established laws of the ordinance of the council? King of Kings, since I know that law is the foundation of man's existence, I shall keep the law of the council, honoring it, and I shall do all in my ability to make it to be observed. The Archbishop, will you help by your goodness and authority to establish schools in Ethiopia for the proliferation of physical and spiritual teaching and for the preaching of the gospel? King of Kings, I know that teaching is of great benefit both to the government, the Mengist, and the priesthood, Beta Kehanet, and it is my will to help in this with all of my ability. After uttering the words of the vow, the King of Kings shall lay his hand on the Bible, and having said, I swear to fulfill all the words I have spoken with the help of the Lord Iyared, he shall kiss the Bible. After signing the register, where all that was said above was written, he shall ascend to his throne. After this, the Archbishop shall pray using the 71st Psalm of David, or the 72nd according to the Hebrew canon, that says, O Lord, give thy judgments to the king, up until where it says, and all the kings of the earth shall prostrate to him. After this, he shall sit. Following this, the 2 priests and 2 deacons chosen for this office, 1 priest holding the censer while burning incense, and 1 priest holding the cross, and 1 deacon holding the cross, shall stand at the right hand of the bishop, in the proximity of the sacramental table, whereon all the coronation ornaments are placed in order. The other priest holding the censer while burning incense, and the other deacon holding the cross, shall stand before the other bishops to their right and left. After this, the deacon shall say, Rise for the prayer, and the first priest shall give greetings of peace, of shalom, and begin the prayer of the gospel, while saying, We give thanks to the Creator of good and beautiful things. When the second priest shall start the prayer of intercession, saying, Concerning those who give offerings, the Bejeron bringing 10 ounces of gold in the name of the King of Kings shall deposit them on the sacramental table as a gift for the church. After the prayers known as Be'inte Kitsat concerning the holy things and Nisgid, let us bow, have been said, the first deacon shall read the epistle of Paulos, St. Paul. Letter of Paulos to the Romans. May the blessing of his almighty ruler be with our king, Haile Selassie, and with our queen, Wollete Giyorgis. Every soul be subjected to the judge, because there is no appointed judge but from the Lord. Iyared. And inasmuch as every power is from the Lord, Iyared, he who is opposed to obeying the judge has disobeyed the ordinance of the Lord, Iyared. Thus, those who refuse to obey bring judgment upon themselves, and the authorities are not terrible for the person who does good, but only for him whose actions are evil. So if thou really desirest not to fear the authorities, do good, and these will rather allow thee, because they are sent by the Lord, Iyared, so that thou act righteously. And if thou wishest not to fear, to do good, for it is not in vain that they preside over the sword, for they are sent by the Lord, Iyared, to punish the evildoer. Now then, necessarily be subjected to them, and not only he whose work is evil, but also he whose work is good. And for this reason, pay them tribute, for they are sent by the Lord እግዚአብሔር and are appointed for this office. And toward each one act according to what is rightful. To him that is due tribute, pay the tribute. To him that is due duty, pay the duty. To him that is due the 10th part, render the 10th part. To him that is due reverence, pay reverence. To him that is due honor, give honor. Epistle to the Romans, chapter 13, 1 through 8. The second deacon shall read, first, letters of Petros, or St. Peter. May the blessing of his almighty ruler be with our King, Haile Selassie, and with our Queen, Wollete Giyorgis. For the sake of the Lord እግዚአብሔር, humble therefore yourselves to every creation of human beings, to the king, the Negus, for everything is for him, to the governors, because he sends them to judge those who commit evil, and to praise those who do good. For this is the will of the Lord እግዚአብሔር, that through your good works ye may tie up the mouth of the foolish ones who do not know the Lord እግዚአብሔር. Be then as free people, agazian, and not as those within whom there is iniquity, but ye, as servants of the Lord እግዚአብሔር, honor everyone, love your neighbor, revere the Lord እግዚአብሔር, and honor the king. First Epistle of Peter, chapter 2, 13 through 17. Then the first priest shall read, Pure spring among the pure spring of the law. May the blessing of the almighty ruler Apollos be with our king Haile Selassie, and with our queen Wollete Giyorgis. And Apollos rose up and commanded silence, and told them, Men of Israel, and ye who fear the Lord እግዚአብሔር, the almighty ruler of the Israelites, chose our fathers and magnified his people, after he had exiled them to the land of Egypt. Then by his divine arm he brought them up from there and nourished them in the desert for 40 years, and cast away 7 nations of Canaan, and gave them their land as an inheritance. After that he appointed judges for them 450 years, until the time of Samuel the prophet. Then they asked that he make a king to reign over them, and the Lord እግዚአብሔር gave as king Saul, son of Kish, a man from the tribe of Benjamin, for 40 years. Then he removed this one, and after him he made king over them, David, and became for him a witness, saying, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man according to my heart, who does my will in everything, and from his seed the Lord እግዚአብሔር brought forth about them the salvation for Israel, Yeshua, according to what he had promised them. Acts of the Apostles, chapter 13, 17 through 24. Then he shall recite the Tzelot Kidan, or prayer of the covenant. After the Tzelot Kidan has ended, the archpriest of Lasta shall take the royal garment from the sacramental table and give it to the bishop of northern Ethiopia. The bishop, having prayed over and blessed the garment, shall return it to the archpriest of Lasta, who shall put it on the sacramental table. Then they shall clothe the King of Kings in the royal garment. 10 singers chosen from among the others by virtue of their harmonious voices, advancing slightly to the center and having turned their faces toward the King of Kings, shall chant, altering with one another according to the 4th tone of the chanting. My heart composes a beautiful word, from Psalm 44:1, or the 45th in the Hebrew canon. When they reach the verse stating, Gird thy sword at thy hip, O mighty one, in thy grace and splendor, they will remain quiet. And at that point, the archpriest of Tedbabe Mariam shall take the sword from the sacramental table and give it to the bishop of southern Ethiopia.